If you like being depressed, enjoy having no drive in your life to improve, want to be lazy, love being an underachiever, then this show is not for you. Get off your loser attitude and stay tuned to the Dani Johnson Show.
You're a winner!
You were born to be a winner. We help you dig deep. We motivate. We inspire. The Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hey, do you and your kids have cell phones? You're like, Dani, that's rather abrupt. I know, but listen, I just found this statistic, and the statistic kind of has me rolling off in my belly, almost making me a little bit nauseous, and you and I have got to have a talk about this. Our world is changing so fast, and we have grown accustomed to some things and habits that maybe are not truly benefiting us, not truly benefiting our kids, or even truly benefiting the whole family. You know, we get so tantalized, right, with technology and all these new fandangled things that seem to come along our way that all of a sudden we find ourselves in a new habit with a new necessity, and wow, our lives have changed so much without ever even looking at it. This is Dani Johnson. We're so happy that you've chosen to join us today. We're going to have an awesome conversation that's going to make you and I both go, wow, really? I never really thought about that. And maybe make us make some new choices and maybe even discover some places that we might be setting ourselves, our family, and our kids up for failure without even knowing it. And you might want to argue with some of my positioning concerning kids and cell phones. I have to read this statistic to you. I'm kind of one of those statistic type people. Fortunately, I don't give them a lot to you. But anyway, 89%, that's almost 90% of teens have a cell phone today. Wow. 69%, that's almost 70% of preteens. Hello? Preteens, that's 10, 11 years old, and 31% of elementary school students have cell phones. This is a lot of people with cell phones. Now, coming from a business perspective, as a businesswoman for almost 27 years that I've been in business, what I can tell you is that I've watched the market be penetrated and the mindset of people be penetrated through very sexy, very savvy marketing campaigns. Now, if you can remember that you and I, well, of course, if you're somewhere near my generation or even 10 years below my generation, definitely if you're 10 years and above, there was a generation that we wouldn't spend more than $20 a month on a phone. And that phone was attached to a wall, right? And then, wow, when those wireless or cordless phones came out, woohoo, we thought we were something, right? Because don't you remember when you were a kid, that phone, the big old black phone or the big, long plastic phone that matched the kitchen, whatever color your mom's kitchen was, and it had the really long coiled cord, right, that could go into the dining room, so you could talk over there or go around the hall and talk over there. But generally, phones have come a long way. We went from the one that was attached to the wall, directly on the wall, to the one that had a cord, and then we could put the phone and drag the phone wherever it is that we wanted to, as long as the cord was, and of course the coiled cord where the handset was. So cordless phones then were like, woo, that was the new fandangled thing, and we thought we were so smart with those things. And then, of course, now we have cellular phones. Now, I remember the commercials, friend, of when cell phones were first marketed to you and I. In fact, I can almost remember where I was sitting when I saw this ridiculous advertisement for cell phones. So here it is, okay? It is the old Woody station wagon, right? So that old Woody station wagon with the 4 doors, and she's got the wood on the side of it. Okay, this is the one my parents had, and of course we had 2 burn marks, and we called this car Alice. Her name was Alice. We had 2 big burn marks because the engine at some point had exploded on the hood of the car. So it was white with the wood paneled sides, and the big rusted, burnt, huge marks on top of the hood. And that was our family vehicle, okay? So just so happens in the cell phone commercial in the late 80s, early 90s, maybe 89, 1990 is when this commercial started coming into effect. So here we have a woman in that car. Are you picturing the car? And her kids are in the back seat, and she's out like in the Mojave Desert, right? She's in the middle middle of nowhere. Literally in the middle. She's not in a city. She's not near a payphone. Remember, there were payphones everywhere when we were growing up. There's almost no payphones anywhere today. But there she is in that big old station wagon. The kids are freaking out. There are all kinds of chaos. She's crying, help! You know, the hood of the car is up. The steam is coming out of the car. She's the damsel in distress out in the Mojave Desert. Really? Okay, let me ask you something, broad. How often do you take your old woody vehicle out into the Mojave Desert alone with the kids? Really? I don't think so. But that's the picture that the cell phone companies created. Let me tell you about marketing. They create a problem that almost never exists. A problem that you do not have. Something you have never thought that you would ever have. A problem that never even has ever come close to your mind, has never even come close to your ears by any of your friends. You've never heard of anything like this happening, and yet they present the scenario. So then, do you remember back in those early days where they were, you know, getting really, really good in Hollywood with the commercials, and they did now a split screen. So there's a white line straight down the screen. There's the side where she's freaking out. The kids are freaking out. The steam is coming off. And then the split screen comes in, and she has this gigantic brick-size phone, right? It's huge. And now the kids are smiling, she's smiling, and the smoke is gone on the car. And then the wording behind this commercial was what? Gee, you want to make sure that your wife and children aren't out in the Mojave Desert by themselves without a way of getting help. Because, yeah, you know, their cars blowing up is a problem, and it is a possibility. So the picture that they really presented, especially to the heads of the households across America at that time, was what kind of a man are you? What kind of a protector of a household are you if your wife doesn't have this gigantic cell phone? Now, question. Have you ever been to New York? I have many times. In fact, you might be watching or listening to this show from New York right now. Have you noticed that even in the great, gigantic city of New York, that has all the technological bells and whistles that are available, that you cannot possibly drive from one side of Manhattan all the way to the other side without having your cell phone drop? I'm not talking about the phone itself. I'm talking about you're on a call. You're on a call and you're driving, whether it's in a taxi or you're biking or you're in your own car, and you are even just crossing a bridge and the cell phone signal drops out of nowhere. So even in the great city of New York, where there's millions of people and tons of cell phone competition, we still don't even have perfect cell phone coverage in a city, let alone in 1990 out in the Mojave Desert. Hello? As though that there was actually cell coverage? Really? When the cell phones first came out, there was barely any cell phone coverage anywhere. And yet they were presenting to us a solution that wasn't even real. It wasn't even, they presented a problem to us that wasn't even real. And then they presented a solution to us that wasn't even real. So all of a sudden, the big guy at the house, he's going to make sure and protect his wife and kids, you know, because the next time she's out in the Mojave Desert, she's never been there. Where does she drive to? The post office, the kids' school, and the grocery store. That's where she drives to. She might go over and see mom that's 3 blocks down, and she usually walks to go over see mom that's 3 blocks down. But the reality is they sold us a picture of a complete falsehood. 1 in 10 million women that might be out in the middle of the desert with her kids. Highly unlikely. But here comes all of the marketers, and here goes the wife. Honey, I really want, you know, because if that ever happened to me, that would just be terrible. Wait, can you picture my eyelashes flapping? Honey, what would we do if I can't stand broads like that. Man, that stuff drives me crazy. So they literally were tapping into these weakling broads that never go on a long drive in the middle of a desert, first of all. She doesn't have the courage to cross the street by herself, let alone drive out in the middle of nowhere. Okay, and the husband, does he allow her to go do something like that? Highly unlikely. Barely allows her to go play bridge on Friday night. Anyway, you know what I'm saying, right? But look, we bought it. Look at how stupid we were. We bought it. We bought this picture. So then check it out. So we got the cell phones. And then they began to sell to us a marketing plan of you could add your kid for only $10 a month. You see, the cell phone companies did the math. They did the demographics of who could afford a cell phone, who would buy the cell phone, and they maxed out on a certain billions of dollars, whatever the amount of money was. They maxed it out. So then they figured out, how in the world can we penetrate this max out? Because we only have 300 million people in the country, and of the 300 million people, we only have X amount of hundreds of millions that are adults. And out of them, we only have X amount that actually reach this income bracket that could actually afford a monthly bill of $100. So they did the math, and they found what their demographics were, and then they figured out how to penetrate the barrier and multiply greatly their revenue. So how did they do it? Well, now it wasn't just dad who has a cell phone. We're going to add mom with the cell phone. Why? Why does mom need a cell phone? She's at home every day. Oh, wait, well, no, mom's at the office. Whatever happened to that we could only be reached to the phone by home and office? Hello? Okay, so then they figured out, okay, wow, that doubled their revenue. So then if they could then convince mom and dad through peer pressure of just get a few families that have a kid with a cell phone, and now the kid is going to do what? I want a cell phone. Joey has a cell phone. I need a cell phone. Mom, I need a cell phone because I need to call you whenever volleyball practice is over. You know, I need a cell phone, you know, because everybody else has one, and I'm going to be a nobody if I don't have a cell phone. And mom and dad suckered into the peer pressure and the marketing of savvy, sexy marketers. So now it wasn't just dad with a cell phone. It's not just mom with a cell phone, but let's add the two kids. And the numbers prove almost 90% of teens have cell phones today. Who's paying those bills? Huh? And it started with what? Only just $10 a month. Oh, hold on a second. That ain't how it is anymore. No, because the kids don't just have the little cheap flip phone, the little cheap little Nokia phone anymore. Oh no, they want iPhones. Smartphones, Androids. They want to surf the internet. What does a 9-year-old have email for? Really? So now we literally went from, okay, well, this is just for emergencies and it's just so I can contact you and you're not supposed to contact anyone else, to iPhones, smartphones. And no, it's not $10 a month. Oh no, now it's data plans. Really? Look what we have been seduced into. And what's the fruit? Has it really improved your life or theirs? This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this. Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is Medishare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. Medishare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. MediShare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to the Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They should be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's info at INTELEREP.com, or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400. Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Do you really feel it is smart for a 9-year-old to have a cell phone? 844-200-3264. Do you really feel like cell phones have improved our lives? Have they made your life easier? I feel like I've got an electric dog collar around my neck and that, wow, somebody can get a hold of me anytime they feel they're fancy to find me. And by the way, if they call me and they don't reach me, then, oh boy, they can go ahead and text me and send me an email and Facebook message me all in the same moment. Yes, all at the same time to make sure that they get a hold of me. Then I could be aggressively badgered, and if I don't respond, then they're upset because I'm not responding in a timely manner according to their timeline. So do you feel like cell phones have really made your life easier? Come on, let's get underneath the facade and the sex appeal of these wonderful little computers that we've put in the hands of our children. We've signed them up for a bill while they're still in the house. We've gotten them accustomed to a lifestyle of technology in the palm of their hands 24/7. And if you actually think your kid is not on the internet at 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, you are an idiot. Sorry to tell you. Unless you have their cell phone in your bedroom, under lock and key, yeah. Well, let me just ask you, how much self-control do you have with a cell phone? Come on now. How much self-control, you as an adult, do you have? You, a mature adult, how much self-control do you have? Do you take the cell phone to the bathroom with you? Are you checking email while you're pooping? Ew. Come on now. Do you take the cell phone with you in the car? At the grocery store, are you using it while you're sitting in a waiting room at a doctor's office? Do you have the cell phone right there while you're frying chicken? Do you have the cell phone right next to your computer when you're at work? How much self-control do you have with your cell phone? And are you expecting your 9-year-old who has no self-control and no maturity to not be on their cell phone when they have it in their possession at 3 o'clock in the morning? Or your 12-year-old? Or your 15-year-old? Is this really wise? I want you to tell me what are truly the benefits of your kids having a cell phone. Tell me, what is it? What is truly the benefits of you having it? Or do you feel like cell phones have actually complicated some things? I want to hear the positive and the negative side, both sides. And I'm going to tell you the positive and negative sides that I've experienced in my life and with my children as well. And what our stance was, and still is to this day, with a cell phone. 844-200-3264 is my number. Again, that's 844-200-3264. I hope you're learning something about marketing here today on the Dani Johnson Show, and that you can be more wise with your decisions whenever technology is knocking on your door or other things, other luxuries are knocking on your door. So we're just going to randomly pick. I've got 6 lines waiting right now to talk to you and I about cell phones, positive or negative. What's the impact? Lucinda from Georgetown, Texas. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
I was the one in our house, in our home, that was consumed with the phone, constantly texting, constantly checking my Facebook, emailing. It really consumed so much of my time, and it hurt my relationship with my husband because we would be sitting on the couch in the evening, just to sit down and chat, and we were talking, and then somebody would call or somebody would text, and I would have to check to see who it was, and we just decided that in order for us to hold ourselves accountable, we got rid of one phone, and so we have one phone between the two of us, and we're saving a lot of money, and we're scheduling our phone time. So.
That's awesome. Isn't it really crazy? Like the one that you fell in love with that, in the beginning you couldn't wait to just hear him breathe, have him right next to you, and here somebody that is nowhere near as important can invade your time with your spouse. And it happens so subtly. It's so seductive. And so now he feels neglected. You're not having your need be filled either. You're being tugged in all these different places. Therefore, you're not even having a straight, full-on conversation, not even present in the moment with the man that you love. But now you are distracted with 2 text messages that took your mind into 2 different places, and you can't figure out why you feel so lonely. This is what we've
That's exactly right, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, Lucinda, I like your solution. You guys got rid of one cell phone. You use it between the 2 of you, and you schedule time alone with each other away from that stupid phone. Wow. Good job. I'm proud of you for making a wise decision. That's smart. Unfortunately, most people don't make wise decisions. They continue on that path. And I can tell you, cell phones have caused divorces. No joke. Cell phones have opened the door for kids 6 years old, 7 years old, 8, 9 years old getting addicted to pornography. Yes, addicted to pornography, which, by the way, we're going to do a show on this here very soon. Pornography has the same effects on the brain that cocaine and crystal meth and heroin has on the brain. That's scary. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't just stand there. Soak this up. It's joy, it's encouragement, it's insight. The Dani Johnson Show. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
If you're a Christian who's paying too much for healthcare, you're going to love Medishare. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. It's affordable. Families average around $300 a month, and it's accepted by America's largest network of health providers. Plus, the healthcare law has a special provision for Medishare members, so you're exempt from any tax penalties. But here's the best part. Medishare is based on the timeless principles found in God's Word. You never have to pay for things that go against your beliefs. Medishare is healthcare the way God meant it to be.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Ever wondered how to advertise on the Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you listening, thinking about the things you do, talking about the things you do, and needing products and services you need? Savvy business owners and marketing directors advertise on the Dani Johnson Show. Advertise your products or services on the Dani Johnson Show. Email info@intellerep.com or call 251-928-9400, 251-928-9400.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
Sometimes things are sold to us as, and the benefit that's being sold to us is it's better. That it's going to make our life better. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're talking about cell phones and are smartphones making us dumb people, or are they really making us smart? And I'm not just talking about the smartphones. I'm talking about the cell phone in general. We have a large population, almost 100% of the teen population has cell phones today. And what mom and dad have done with buying their kid a cell phone is taught them how to be chained to something that is not necessarily benefiting their life. And we've been suckered into buying these things without thinking clearly and looking at the impact, the effects of what a cell phone does on a kid. Well, all we have to do is look at the cell phone impact that it has had on us. There are people literally addicted to their phones. They won't go to the bathroom without their phones. Don't you remember when the bathroom was like a safe place to have some peace and quiet, sort of? Right? I know when my kids were little, man. I shut that door, locked that door, and plugged my ears. Mom! Jeez. But now the cell phone has invaded all the private, intimate places. The intimate time between you and your spouse. Do you have your cell phone on your bedside? And you're supposed to be having some intimate time with your spouse, and there goes that sound when a text comes in or the vibration that comes in when an email comes through. All your many countless notifications come in when you're trying to create a mood with your spouse. And you know that as soon as that vibration happens or as soon as that sound goes off of your phone, now you're wondering who just sent me an email. I wonder if it's so-and-so. I've been trying to get a hold of them. Now your brain's been split. You're supposed to be enjoying a intimate time, a sexual time with your spouse, and it's been invaded upon because a cell phone is in your bedroom? Come on now. Self-control seems to be something very rare in our culture today. And we are putting an addictive device in the hands of young people, teaching them to spend money on a monthly basis, having access with no boundaries at all, access to information and images and videos that can destroy their lives and set them up for a lifestyle of pornography, setting them up with addictions to things that will destroy their future marriage, as pornography has destroyed many marriages, and men and women alike are addicted to pornography today. Scary. The high percentage of kids that are addicted to pornography and cannot break free. Now, there is a way to break free, but I'm telling you, it's going to take a crazy amount of self-discipline. The same thing they didn't have when they had the cell phone put in their hands. It's scary. 844-200-3264 is my number. Do you agree or disagree with my statements? Do you believe that it's important for your kids to have cell phones? 844-200-3264. And do you find that you have seen that your phone has become addictive in nature for you? What places has it invaded your life versus helping to make your life better and easier? I'm exposing another side of the cell phone coin today, friend. We're going to tell the truth as I see it. I hear all kinds of marriage problems, business problems, all kinds of problems that people have. And it usually has a cell phone involved, believe it or not. 844-200-3264. We've got Tracy from Fulton, Missouri. Tracy, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome, Dani. I hope that many people are listening to this show. I pray that people wake up to everything that you are saying. I'm a minister, a mom of three, and I just can't agree. I agree 175%.
Tell me why.
It's so, well, for one, my middle girl does not have a cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
My 13-year-old, but my 19-year-old does. And this is where I have learned from mistakes, Dani.
Yep.
I stand before you today sorry for what, these images, these, like you talked about, commercials, marketing, just everything, bombarding our precious babies and telling them that this is okay and that's all right and go ahead and do this if it feels good. Boy, you're on a subject today that just, as a minister, just fuels me.
Yeah, me too. It makes me mad. And what we're doing is we're training our kids to be marketed to and to have absolutely no filter, no wisdom at all to discern what is right, what is good, what is bad, what is evil. They don't have the filter yet. They don't have the ability to have that filter yet. And yet here we are putting a device in their hands. And not only that, Tracy, I don't know if your kid had ever been sexted. But kids literally in junior high school, and please tell me, what in the world are they taking a picture of? Because they ain't got much to show in junior high. But they literally are taking naked pictures of themselves in the school bathroom and texting, which is called sexting, to another kid. And so all these kids have their cell phones in their pockets during English class. They open it up and bam, there's an image of somebody's little AAA size boobs. They're not even formed yet? Really? I mean, and this is what we are subjecting our children to without even thinking. And again, we've been seduced. How have we been seduced? Oh, it's so we can get in touch with our kid. It's for safety. That's a bunch of hogwash. Let me ask you something, Tracy. Wait a second. Did you learn to drive when you were about 16 years old?
Actually, I did. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And did you have a cell phone when you were 16 years old when you learned to drive?
No. No, ma'am.
Oh, my goodness. Nope. And lo and behold, Tracy, you're still alive. Oh, and so am I. Oh, my goodness. Okay, now hold on a second. Tracy, did you have any extracurricular school activities when you were in school? Basketball or dance or drill team or cheerleading or volleyball or baseball? Did you have those events?
I was a soccer player, yes.
Soccer player. Okay, so Tracy, you were a part of a soccer team. And hold on a second. Did you have a cell phone so that your mom knew where you were at all times and that you could text her whenever soccer practice was done because somehow she didn't know what time soccer practice was done?
No, I did not. Nope.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. Hold on a second. I'm doing a quick case study here. Tracy, I played basketball for 15 years. I played volleyball for 5. I played softball for 5. I was a cheerleader for 5. I'm still alive, and I didn't have a cell phone. Oh, wow.
Imagine that.
It just makes me so mad, Tracy.
It's serious. And, I preach about this all the time. The Joneses are dead. Go to their gravesite. They're already gone. They never made it. They died 3 years into this stuff. Get rid of the stuff that is hindering you. God bless you today, Dani.
Thank you so much I love your passion on this topic. Tracy made my blood boil. That's all I got to say. My blood is boiling on this deal because it upsets me. It really does how stupid we parents have become. Seriously, collectively. Like, where is the wisdom today? Where is it? It's gone. And the Joneses are dead. Not only are they dead, they're broke. So keeping up with the Joneses, they're flat broke. Broke. So many addictions. Come on, high percentages of people on antidepressants. The list goes on. Come on now. Where? Ay. Lois from Idaho, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hello?
Hi, Dani.
Hi.
Hey, I just wanted to call in because this has caused a lot of hurt for me. I was a single mom with 4 kids and got married 2 years ago, and he's an amazing provider. However, when as a single mom, I limited my kids, myself. I didn't have a smartphone. We didn't sit around on the computer. We had family activities. We read. We grew personally. We had a social life. And then I get married. And he's on his phone a lot and on his computer a lot. He's got his own business. I understand that takes time.
Yep.
But he comes home and eats dinner, and then he's back on the phone or the laptop. And it's really, really been hard on me. And I see my teenage boys doing the same thing.
Yes.
And I don't like it.
Yes.
I have told him that it bothers me. It hurts me. I feel like I have no value to him. I feel like I mean nothing to him.
Yep.
There's no reason for him to want to spend time with me.
Yep.
And so now I see my boys doing this, and I don't like it. And I don't know how to
fix it.
Honor him and allow him to be right where he is.
Yep.
But to teach my boys, this is not okay. No matter what he does, it's not going to help your life. It's not going to help your marriages. It's not going to help your future.
No.
How do I do that when he is setting that example? I don't know how to do that at all.
Yep. This is a deep issue. And by the way, I have lived what you are talking about. When technology first hit our house, I'm telling you, I was not happy. And my husband had the same issue where it was all the time on his phone or all the time on his laptop. And it stressed our relationship big time. And I came to a place where that cell phone and that Mac computer was the other woman. And I wanted to drive a bullet through her big time. I could not stand her. I became jealous of her. I became resentful towards her. I wanted to kill her. I wanted her out of my house because literally I felt like it was adultery. Because all of his time was going to these technical devices. And the year before all the technology hit our house, we had tons of family time, lots of talks, a whole lot more sex. So like, hello, McFly, this is ridiculous. So when we continue back from this break, I will do my best to say how we've had to fix it, issues that have come up. And yeah, hasn't been easy, Mama. It hasn't been easy. But I'm with you. So hold the line just 1 second. We'll continue with more of the Dani Johnson Show right after this.
You're listening to the Dani Johnson Show. Stay tuned for more of Dani Johnson in just a moment.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to the Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They shouldn't be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's info@INTELEREP.com. Or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show. Here's Dani Johnson.
Dani Johnson, I am not going to take my kid's cell phone away. You're crazy. My kids will hate me if I take the cell phone away. Wow. So you're afraid of your kids hating you? Therefore, you will allow them to have a device in their hands that takes them to pornography sites where sexting is happening, where you are teaching them to have a monthly bill when they're still just a child? Really? And you're getting them addicted to something that as a kid, when they're at the dinner table, they have their little device right there with them and no one's talking to each other at the dinner table, but they're Facebooking, which, by the way, is a disaster for a kid. A disaster. Do you have any idea what can happen in the private messaging between your son and somebody else's daughter? Come on now. Or 5 or 6 other daughters? Think about it. You are releasing them to a place that has no boundaries. Step up and be a parent already. Come on. You're afraid your kids are going to be mad at you? Pull your head wherever it's at and put it back on your shoulders and grow the heck up. I know I just created an enemy, but I don't care. I got to tell you the truth. I see the effects of it. Do you actually think that when your kid is already addicted to a cell phone and constantly has that thing in their hand, that all of a sudden when they get married someday, that that's going to stop? Huh? No, they're still going to have their cell phone at the dinner table, and that's for your daughter, because I've seen daughters do it, and I've seen sons do it. Not my sons and not my daughter, but I've seen other people's daughters do it. Yeah, Facebook during dinner, after someone just slaved for 2 hours cooking dinner, and they just walk in and they just eat, and there they are on Facebook, there they are on Instagram, there they are watching a video during family time. They're having their own laughter looking at pictures on their cell phone. And then dinner's over and they just, get off their butt off the kitchen table and go sit on the couch and have some more Facebook time. I have literally watched that generation who was given cell phones as teenagers and preteens have hours after they're done with work, hours and hours and hours and hours till 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. On what? Their cell phone. On their cell phone. Can you please tell me how that works out in a marriage? Come on now. What does that do in a marriage? Better yet, what happens with the next generation? These two knucklehead kids that weren't taught right now have their own kids. It's a mess. 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. Lois is on the phone. She's been sharing earlier that her husband is on the phone constantly. He's on the computer constantly. Her sons are seeing this, and now her sons are on the phone. Honey, Lois, I'm sure your kids feel neglected too by that cell phone that is in your husband's hands. Yeah. So, and you don't want to dishonor or disrespect your husband and tell your sons, hey, what he's doing, I don't want you to do. That's a little bit disrespectful, and it's driving a wedge between the new husband, their stepfather, and them. But what you can do is sell the positive and sell the positive of all that family time we used to have. I want you to draw them. Use the same technique that the cell phone does. It seduces them. So I want you to draw them into conversations with you, into meaningful talks, to where they're not going to pick up their cell phone because they're engaged. They've got mom's ear. And by the way, they want mom's ear. You're not going to change the man you're living with. Forget it. I tried. It sucks. It ends in a failure. You ain't going to change him. The only thing I could do was pray. I cried out to the Lord about the hurt. And by the way, I was carrying rejection, which made the whole thing ridiculous, right? Here I'd been abandoned as a kid, and now my husband's abandoning me for Mrs. Mac and Mrs. iPhone. He's got 2 adulterous broads in my house, and I hate them both. Well, that was some internal issue that I had, that I would get so offended, that I would be so hurt, that I would be so sad, that it caused me to even get depressed because I felt so neglected. Well, that really didn't have much to do with the phone and the computer. Those were triggers of some unfinished business I had in my past. And because I had rejection and abandonment in me, and hurt and offense, it made me far madder than I needed to be. So I had to fix me on that, and I can't change my husband. And I just began to pray. And God eventually changed my husband's heart. And God eventually got a hold of my husband in a very strong way to where my husband now has boundaries with his phone, and he now has boundaries with his computer. But I couldn't fix that. And you are not going to fix it. But what you can do is draw, and I don't know why you ever got your sons a cell phone. That wasn't wise. So it might be, please forgive me, sons, because my job is to help prepare you for success. And I've allowed a device to get into your hands that you're on a lot. And that ain't going to change when you get married. And when you get married, your wife may feel a bit neglected if you're on that device all the time. And it destroys relationships. Studies have proven this. So I'm going to ask that we have some boundaries with this thing, because it's obvious that self-control is being depleted here instead of being used. And self-discipline is important for your future success in your marriage and in whatever business you're going to have and in your finances. And this is where we need to practice it, is self-control with the cell phone. What kind of boundaries do you feel, Mr. Son, that is important? So that's one conversation to have. I'm sorry, please forgive me. And secondly, it is you, Mom, need to draw them away from that. Go bowling with them and say, we're leaving the cell phones out of the bowling alley. We're leaving the cell phones not at the dinner table. But what about Dad? he's got his own life, and he's his own man, and when you're a father, you can make your own decisions like that. But right now, there's no cell phones, no technology at the table. We're actually going to talk, and you have got to draw them into conversations. You got to draw them into activities that will pull them away from the cell phone. Don't get mad. Don't complain. These things don't fix anything. But with love and interest in them and getting interested in what they're interested in, this is going to draw them away from this device that is training them for irresponsibility and bad relationships and bad finances. So that's what I've had to do, Mama. And our kids did not have cell phones as teenagers. That's the bottom line. They just didn't. Roman... It's another story. But anyway, our kids got their own cell phone when they could buy it and they could pay the bill themselves. We've not paid the bill. We've not done any of that. There was a phone that went with the car when they began to learn to drive, and that was it. That was $10, and that was it. So they couldn't call friends. They couldn't text. It was totally limited to if I needed to get a hold of them, and that was it. So there you have it. And by the way, my kids would love to talk about how their life wasn't bad because they didn't have a cell phone. So anyway, Lois, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I feel your heart. Do I ever feel your heart? And again, I had to change me. So I don't know where your position is concerning cell phones. If you think that they are wise, I want you to tell me why. 844-200-3264. Again, that's 844-200-3264. Are they wise financially? Are they wise socially? Oh, I can't deny that texting, that's kind of beneficial, sort of, but it kind of isn't. There's positive and negatives to everything, isn't there? The negative is, people misunderstand. Yeah, depending on what kind of day they're having, they can perceive your text as short, insensitive, and you're screaming at them. Ridiculousness. You can't communicate the nonverbal communication that comes with your voice through a text message. But yeah, can you pick up some milk? Okay, that's simple. Oh, it makes it so that I don't have to have any chit-chat time on the phone. How sad is that? So we have turned our back on relationship for convenience. Sad, isn't it? Oh, I feel I can get so much more done with texting. Yeah, but think about all the messes you make with texting too. And also think about what is denied by only texting. What gets denied in us? Hearing the person's voice, hearing the love, hearing their tone. That's also what we miss. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with Hour 2 of The Dani Johnson Show right after this.
In a world of broken promises, we're here to help you through life. The Dani Johnson Show. No excuses, no blaming, just real life.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today. You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.
The Dani Johnson Show is here to help you.
We want to see your economy thrive.
Helping you focus and set your priorities.
And you can do this by learning the skill sets, the strategies, and the mindsets of 2% of the population.
The Dani Johnson Show. Listen closely.
What are your weaknesses? What are your greatest strengths? And what are your weaknesses?
Learn how to make the most out of your strengths in this life and how to grow in the direction that is best for you and your family. This is The Dani Johnson Show.
Can you believe that somebody out there has made the statement that they need their cell phone in order to sleep at night? Really? Wow. Cell phones. Are they really helping us, or are they making us lose everything? Everything. This is Dani Johnson. Thanks so much for joining us today for Hour 2 of the Dani Johnson Show. We are tackling a topic that many just want to go, nah, they don't want to agree with. But here's the facts. Cell phones. Are they really a positive additive to our life? Have they really improved our life and our lifestyle? Have they improved our communication? Has it helped us get more sleep? Or have cell phones caused us to work more, be more involved with more drama? Lord have mercy. Do you feel like you have an electric dog collar around your neck and that anybody at any point in any time can get you even when you're on the john? That's in the bathroom in case you don't know. I know you're one of those sweet little churchgoers, you don't know what a john is. When you go to use the restroom or the toilet. Anyway, you want to argue with me concerning cell phones, you call me right now, 844-200-3264. I have a pet peeve with cell phones in the hands of children, as well as in the hands of teens. Dani, get with the program. You're total Stone Ager, honey. This is 20-something. We're in the new millennium. It's time to change with the changing times. Hey, if the change has brought something great into our lives, then hey, you got me. But I have yet to see any positive, great effects for cell phones, especially in the hands of kids. Check this out. Huffington Post had written that Mayo Clinic, they had done a study with Mayo Clinic and said, and many other studies have been done on this, that it actually infringes on our sleep patterns. It actually makes our sleep worse. Using electronic gadget just before bed can actually cause real problems with your sleep. There's been a rise of insomnia in children as well as in adults. Okay, not to mention that the kids who are actually sleeping with their cell phone, all of the notifications that are going off, the constant temptation to actually go towards that thing, it literally is like a freight train coming through their bedroom at night. And what happens when you and your children don't get enough sleep? Let's just go there for 1 second. Think about this, George. What happens when you don't get enough sleep? Come on now, tell me. What happens when you don't get enough sleep? Tell me. Are you nice to people? Do you have an extra dose of patience for your wife and your children? And your coworkers at work? Huh? Yeah. How's your self-control doing when you don't have enough sleep? Think about it, Susie Lee. Come on now. How much wisdom do you have flowing through your head when you don't get enough sleep? And we put a cell phone in our kids' hands with no boundaries, and they're sleeping with their cell phone, and they're not getting any sleep. And we expect that, they're supposed to have patience and self-control, and they're not supposed to try to rip their little brother's eyeball out when the little brother has taken away his toy. We somehow expect our children to have more character than we do. And we expect them to have that when they've had no sleep. And we're the one that put the poison in the bed with them. Cell phones. Are they really helping to improve us as a human race? Or do they come with a whole bunch of problems, including health problems? Absolutely no question in my mind. All right, we're going over to Joyce from New York. Joyce, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hi.
Thanks. My blood is really boiling here, and my head is spinning. So it's conviction. But I have a point that I wanted to bring up about why I ever got a cell phone for my child before I tell you why I got rid of mine. It was a real strange situation. My 9th grader was staying late after school for a science teacher, and at 4:30, they're supposed to be coming out of the school. Well, she wouldn't let them out of the school because the computers and the printers weren't working, and they had to stay until the project got done. She would not let my son use the school telephone to call me to let me know where he was because she assumed and expected everyone to have a cell phone. His friend forgot his cell phone, left it at home, so he couldn't even use his phone, and she wouldn't let him use the school phone. I went into school looking everywhere for him, could not find him because I didn't know where the science room was. Right. I freaked out, and I thought, well, darn it. he's got to have a cell phone so I don't lose him. Anyway, that's my story.
For one,
off as long as I could.
Right, and for one issue. And, I always go back. To if there was no cell phone, what do? You call the school. You track the kid down. You call what was my son's last class? Because they all have phones in the classroom, right? They do. So can you please ring teacher such and such because that's the last person that perhaps might have seen my son. I can't find my son. Please ring me to that right now. But again, because we have the option of cell phones, what do we reach for? The cell phone. Because we have the option to buy it, because we have the money to buy it, because we can justify it. And look, one isolated situation, and by the way, Joyce, the reason why you went and bought it is because you had all this advertising for years telling you that you should buy it. So then the opportunity presented itself, the one rare moment in time that his friend didn't bring his cell phone, that the teacher and the technology wasn't working in the classroom, and she would not let him call, which, by the way, do we even know if that's the truth? Do we even know that he said, hey, Mrs. Jones, I need to call my mom because she's going to be upset if I'm not in the place where I'm supposed to be? He might have even lied to you, Joyce. Come on now, honey. It's very possible that he might have lied. It's a joke.
He might have, but he knew we had to get to a music lesson for my other son, so we knew we were on a time schedule.
Yeah, but regardless, back in the day before cell phones were being marketed to us, how did moms deal with this situation? She called the school. She knew what the last class was, and if she didn't, she asked, what was my son's last class? Please type me in. He's not where he's supposed to be, and that teacher has to be the one that saw him last. I need to know where my boy is. Or you do what we do. You drive to school. Where are you? That's what we do. But again, because we've been overly marketed to, because we have been sold again and again and again. Now add in the peer pressure. Well, everyone else has a cell phone, and they have a cell phone because they want to be able to get a hold of their kid 24/7. Well, how many times did you need to get a hold of them in that urgent situation again? How many times? 1, 2, 5?
That was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Probably never.
Pressure, adult pressure.
Yeah. It's a joke, right? Okay, so why have you gotten rid of yours? Talk to me. You said you broke free from your smartphone. I want to hear about it.
Well, first of all, I went from a regular cell phone to a smartphone because I thought I had to be in touch because you got to stay in touch with people faster, and I didn't want to...
Wait, Joyce, wait! That right there is an advertisement. Right there! You just recited the lines of a tagline of a marketing campaign. Stay in touch. We've got to stay in touch. That's why you need a smartphone. Gosh, see, it just comes right out of us.
4 years later, my oldest son, who's 23, this past year has been on me after he has gone to First Steps in creating a dynasty, and he just doesn't ever want to have a smartphone. In fact, he wants to get rid of his phone if he can, because he just doesn't want one. And he kept saying, Mom, you need to get rid of your smartphone. Mom, you don't need it. You need to get rid of it. And I kept, after a period of time, like, I've been to enough seminars. This is true. Do I really need it? Is it need? So then I went back on December 30th on my birthday, of all things. It was a birthday present to myself. With him, he went with me, and we got rid of the smartphone after 4 years, and I went back to a regular phone. The best decision ever. Now, will I ever get one sometime in the future? Maybe. I have to earn it. It has to be a need, want, justification thing, but I have to manage it. But am I happy about where I am now? Oh, yeah. Peaceful.
I love this. Happy birthday to me. I am canceling my smartphone. Yes! That is such a 2% mindset, girlfriend. I absolutely love it. It seriously is. That is such a 2% mindset. It's going in the opposite direction of everybody else. First of all, I could do a whole show on this. I am totally against the happy birthday, Merry Christmas to me mindset. That's ridiculous. But the fact that you did the happy birthday to me was canceling a bill, canceling a cell phone. Hello, girlfriend, getting rid of a smartphone? Now that's what I'm talking about right there. That's real personal growth. That's real swimming against the stream of everybody else that's going broke and going in the opposite direction of the Joneses by far. Joyce, I'm proud of you. Thank you so much, by the way, for your transparency of how you swallowed a stupid pill for a minute and bought your son a cell phone when he's in the 9th grade. And that's the kid who's saying, I don't want this thing. I love that. I love that. It's awesome. You're awesome, Joyce. All right, going up here, we've got Kim from Texas. Kim, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thanks, Dani. I actually am coming in a different direction. I wanted to get advice because, my business, I have a small business that we actually use our phones a lot to grow our business.
How?
And
that you can't do on your computer?
In the evenings and on the weekends.
But hold on a second. So let's analyze this. Okay, not defend, but let's analyze. Let's analyze and not defend.
Okay.
All right. Do you have a computer?
Yes.
Do you have an iPad or a tablet?
Yes.
Ooh. And do you have a landline in your house?
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Time out. And you have a smartphone.
Yeah.
So you have two ways to verbally, actually you have three ways to verbally talk to people. Actually, you have four different ways to verbally talk to people because you can actually talk to people from your computer verbally. You can verbally talk to people from your iPad. You can verbally talk to people from the landline. And you can verbally talk to people from your cell phone. Do we need four ways to talk to people?
Probably not.
No. Okay, hold on. And you also have 3 ways to check your email or your website with your smartphone, your iPad, and your computer.
Yes.
Do we need 3 ways?
No, probably not.
Oh, gosh. Okay. So
yes. I don't use them all. I do have them, but I don't use them all. I guess my question, though.
Wait, no, I'm not done with you, honey. I am not done with you.
Oh, no.
Guess what's coming? There's a watch coming that you can surf the internet with, that you can talk to somebody on the phone with, that you can check your email with, and all your Facebook and your own website too. So is that the next purchase? Don't tell me no.
No.
Don't tell me that's not the next purchase, because I know better. Because they suckered your butt into 4 different ways to communicate already. This will be number 5, baby. You are the prime candidate for Apple and everybody else that's creating all kinds of nonsense. I want you to hold on, and I'll let you answer your I'll let you ask your question. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today. Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is Medishare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. Medishare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your health care. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical health care. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Dani Johnson here, and you're listening to The Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you. People thinking about what you think about, talking about what you talk about, and needing the same products and services you need. It's a place where like-minded consumers gather, savvy business owners, marketing directors, and responsive individuals making significant buying decisions. From consumer home goods and services to business products, people just like you needing the same things you need. They shouldn't be buying your product and service or doing business with your company. I'd love to help. To find out how to advertise on this show, email info@intelerep.com. That's INFO at INTELEREP.com. Or call 251-928-9400. That's info@intelerep.com or 251-928-9400.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Do we really need 4 different ways to communicate? Right? The computer, we can talk verbally to somebody on the computer. We can talk verbally through our iPads. We can talk verbally through the landline that's stuck to the line stuck to the house. And then we can talk to people through our smartphones. Do we really need all 4 of those technologies to do it? No, we don't. However, that's the power of marketing. That's the power of marketing. Marketing will get you to justify and buy things that you do not need. This is where we have to grow up. This is where we need to become wise with our money, wise with looking at what does this decision really do. Instead of selling ourselves on the next technology, especially giving it to our children, we have to look, what are the effects of doing this? Joining me now is Kim from Texas. She says, I don't know what to do because she has all 4 of these technologies. And she says that she has to have her smartphone in order to build her business. Kim, I just have to say this to you before you ask this question, because I will let you ask this question.
Okay.
I made my first million by the time I was 23 without a cell phone.
I know. I love your story.
I made my first million without a cell phone. Guess what? I made my second million without a cell phone, too. Wait, I made my third million without a cell phone. Wow. Oh, wow. That's amazing, huh? Okay, so do you need a smartphone to build your business?
Well, probably not. You're probably
right. Whoa.
You're right.
Hold on. We're going to try that again. So, Kim.
Okay, no, I don't.
Oh, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Because the answer will probably actually is still justifying your ideal.
True.
There. Yeah.
Good point.
The answer is no, you don't. No, you don't. So,
well, then I probably don't have to even ask you the next question, because my question was going to be how you balance it when you have. Okay, let's just pretend for a minute it wasn't cell phone. When your business is being worked at night and on the weekends, a lot of times balancing home and family with, and my boys have all grown up and moved out. I'm actually close to the same situation you're starting to be in now. We were just at first steps in San Antonio, so I was crying in the audience with you. But anyway, just my husband and I at home now, and, trying to balance family time with that frenzy of trying to build a business while it's busier right now.
With those four technologies talking to you.
Right. I already did disable all kinds of things, so that it wouldn't interrupt. Text messaging is probably the one thing that it really is annoying my husband the most. So I'm going to have to find a way to work that out. And we even set aside a day where we had it just for us, and we're, shutting all the other stuff down. But
Good job.
It's still difficult sometimes. So.
Yeah. So, number one, I'd get rid of the smartphone. You don't need it. And I'd be using your landline under certain hours to build that business, and I would hold those boundaries. If you're really serious about having a great relationship and having that harmonious relationship with your husband, because guess what? At the end of the day, it's just him for the rest of your life.
Of course. Right.
It's just you and him. So it's really important to take care of that relationship first and foremost, and also to take care of your body. And to not allow a business to run you, but that you run it. Write this down. It's really important. I had to learn this lesson the hard way. I had to learn time secrets. Time secrets was what changed my life more than any other strategy ever in my life. It helped me to make more money with less time. It helped me to improve my marriage and my life with my kids. It helped me to get better health. Time secrets will help you to become so efficient on much less time. And Kim, so that you can have a life. Honey, you haven't had a life in a really long time with raising kids, being married, running businesses. You've had no life. It's time to learn time secrets so you can have a life. Go to the website right now and get a hold of it. Study it immediately. Do it with your husband and follow it to a T, and your income is going to grow like crazy on less of your work and effort going into that small business that you have. And get rid of the smartphone. Okay? I just love that you called in. I had fun with you. You're awesome, Kim. I'm proud of you. And thanks so much for being a graduate of First Steps to Success. It's awesome. Proud of you. That's awesome. That's awesome. God bless you. All right, this is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more of your calls right after this.
Life. It's about the journey. Are you living the life you want to live? Is it going the way you want it to go? Don't live your life by default. Live by going the way you want to go. Dani can help you with your roadmap to life. The Dani Johnson Show.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
Ever wondered how to advertise on the Dani Johnson Show with tens of thousands of people just like you listening, thinking about the things you do, talking about the things you do, and needing products and services you need? Savvy business owners and marketing directors advertise on the Dani Johnson Show. Advertise your products or services on the Dani Johnson Show. Email info@intellerep.com or call 251-928-9400. 251-928-9400. Improving the quality of your life. The Dani Johnson Show.
I love it.
Could your child's cell phone be contributing to ADHD? Could it be triggering ADHD in their lives? It's an important question to answer. It's something really important to look at. You know, studies have shown and suggested that there is a link between kids using their cell phones and ADHD symptoms. We're training them to constantly be multitasking and not finishing anything. We literally are creating their brains to be hypersensitive and hyper-reactive instead of to be purposed and focused. And that's really what a cell phone does with us. Have you noticed that? A cell phone is a reaction device. Right? It buzzes at us, we respond to it. And then we're on a task, we forget that task and we go on to the next one. Or if you're on your smartphone and you're checking your email and a text comes through or notification from one of your social media platforms comes through, then all of a sudden now you multitask, you switch over to that, you answer that, another text comes through, then oh wait, you forgot about that email that you started, and now you have to go back and reread the email that you started to make sure that you're communicating directly. But wait a minute, a notification from Facebook comes in, so then you check on that sucker, and guess what? We're teaching our kids how to live like that. That's what we're doing. We're teaching our kids how to be reactive, like hyper reactive, instead of purposed and focused. Studies have proven this. Seriously, this is a scary thing. Our kids that are texting even while they're driving, how did they learn how to do that? They watched you text while you're driving. Well, Dani, I'm 45. Who cares? I know how to drive and I can text at the same time. But can your 16-year-old? Come on now. Do they have that? First of all, I think you're crazy if you think you can text and check email while you're driving. That's nuts. However, what about the 16-year-old? Does he have the maturity, the driving experience, the discernment, the defensive driving skills at 16 to text and drive? Don't you realize they're watching us and they're duplicating us, and it's scary? Line 1, I've got Nikki from Raleigh, North Carolina. Nikki, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thank you. One of the boundaries I set up with my cell phone, all notifications are off, except for text. And before I come into the house from work, I check my email, I check everything I need to do so it does not take away from my family time.
Yes.
And the cell phones I consider are for my convenience, not for anyone else's.
Yep. That's really good. You know what? Here's one that I added. I do those same things as well. One of the things that I added to my cell phone boundary is I keep the phone when I go to bed at night, the phone stays in my office. I have a little office inside the house, and it's way on the other side of the house, and that's where it stays. And so I'm not tempted first thing in the morning to pick it up and check something, to see who called, to see who texted, to see whatever. And it's crazy. I actually wake up more focused and more diligent towards my path, which would not be answering emails. My path is spending my time with my God, spending time in prayer, keeping my earplugs in, starting my day at a slower pace versus a fast task-oriented pace. And so that has helped tremendously for me. Not to mention, if the cell phone's not in the bedroom at night, well, then you're certainly not checking it before you go to bed either, which means some other things can happen if you're married. Go ahead, Nikki. It looks like we lost her. Anyway, this is Dani Johnson. We're taking your call about cell phones. Is it really wise or is it foolish? How much invasion have you had in your life from cell phones? And then we're passing this disease down to our kids. And what are the effects of that? Scary. We've got Allison on line 6 from Rochester, New York. Allison, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. Yeah, for me and my children, I actually debated a really long time about whether or not, they should have them. One of my daughters is 11, and the other is 13. And so really the reason why my kids do have cell phones is really only for safety reasons. They don't have smartphones. They're actually the old school ones, where you have to, if you're going to text, you have to hit it 3 or 4 times to get the letter. And so for me, it was really, we don't have a home phone anymore. It came down to financial reasons. It was cheaper. And also, they're now at practices. They're now involved in a lot of activities. And I monitor it. I jump on. So I'm really torn about, how much freedom to give them with it, but I'm on it. And I check frequently on, you can check the texting. You can check exactly what's being said online, making sure that you're in it. So that's really where I am with it. They're both bugging me for smartphones, but I said I don't think so unless you want to pay for the bill and you want me to see everything you're doing anyway. But that's kind of where I am with it.
Okay, so Allison, I'm going to challenge you in 2 places. Number one,
I would love that.
Yeah, number one, did you have a cell phone when you were 11 or 13?
No, ma'am.
Okay, but hold on.
I had a bike, and we went over and knocked on people's doors.
And did you, Allison, have activities? You know what I mean? Ball practices, cheerleading, dance, drill team. You did all that. And Allison, you're alive. Oh my gosh. Allison, how did that happen?
Amazing.
And Allison, when you learned to drive, did you have a cell phone?
No.
Neither did I. And I played basketball and volleyball, and I was on a drill team, and I played, I was a cheerleader, and I did track, and I played softball. I had all those activities, and I'm still alive, and I didn't have a cell phone. So for what safety reasons? No, it sounds to me like you were marketed very well to, and you were seduced, as millions of other households have been seduced, into this safety pitch for your children. On top of that, peer pressure. And now you're being pressured by your girls. So it's interesting to me that you gave them the cell phone for safety issues, but it's not ever been used for safety. And just one quick question. Do you actually need one more thing to monitor in your life as a mother?
No, I do not.
And I got,
As a single mom to monitor.
Oh, you're a single mom even. Wow. Okay, so hold on. So let me ask you, how often do you actually get online and monitor their text messages? Be honest. Every day?
Actually, I do once a month when I go in because I always check for myself.
Did you say?
So I'm being real there.
Once a month? Wow.
Yeah.
So is that really monitoring?
No, probably not.
No.
It's probably just checking once in a great while.
Yes.
Can I ask you a question on this since we're...
I'm going to tell you that my kids did not have cell phones at 11 and 13. My kids didn't have cell phones at 16 or 17. When they turned 18 and they made a decision for themselves to have their own cell phone, they bought it themselves. They took care of their own bill. They were an adult. Now, I have a son who got an iPod and through the internet was able to make phone calls from that iPod. We did have a phone that went with the family vehicle, so I could get in touch with them, and it could do nothing. But I could text them. They could text me back. There's no text. No friends had that phone number, nothing. We have a landline that their friends could call them, and they could talk to their friends. I got to tell you a funny story. Recently, my son Cabe and I were in Latvia, which is near Russia. And we were doing a Russian tour, Russia, Latvia, Finland, and London. And when we were in Latvia, I taught on grooming the next generation for success and the power of marketing that is happening to our children, the power of our school system that is training them to be financial retards, and that our school system, they are. I was a financial retard. I was a complete idiot financially, and I had some major learning disabilities with finances due to what? Our society, our school system, and my parents' example. And so I had all kinds of financial issues because I wasn't trained right. And so the book, Grooming the Next Generation for Success, kind of lays out the path of how we got suckered into things and then what is the result of the thing we were suckered into. So let me tell you this. My son got asked a question. I was blown away, girlfriend. Allison, I was floored. That when we were done, I was signing books, and my son was standing by my side, and a man came over to him, a man maybe in his late 30s, early 40s, came over to him and said, "Hey, can I talk to you for a second?" He kind of woos Cabe over about 5 feet away from me. And he says, "So can I ask you a question? Be honest with me. So, was at some point, did you hate your parents because they did not allow you to have a cell phone or because they didn't have junk food in the house? Did you hate your parents because they didn't have video games or anything like that in the house?" And Cabe looked at this man with a big old smile on his face, and he chuckled. He says, "Never once have I hated my parents for how they raised me, and the way that they've raised me is how I'm going to raise my kids. And to be honest with you, the way my mom presented the anti-cell phone policy made me just go, it's stupid to have a cell phone. He goes, so then I would be at school and I'd look at my friends who had cell phones and they would look at me and say, how come you don't have a cell phone? He goes, why do you have one? What's the point? And so he said some of my friends would stop bringing cell phones to school, and they lost interest in their phones. Wow. So Cabe's example caused other kids to forget their cell phones and find that it was a piece of junk, that it wasn't worth their time, that it wasn't something that was absolutely necessary, and they'd much rather save money than do those things. And so the root of that question was fear. The parent is afraid their kid will hate them if they don't give them what they want. That's not a parent. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Helping you improve your life. The Dani Johnson Show. Stay with us.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. Okay, if you know me at all, I don't want you spending a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and take credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He's so confident that if he can't save you money, he'll pay you $100. Listen, if you're accepting payment by credit cards, check it out. 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. He guarantees he'll save you money, and he'll pay you $100 if he can't. No risk, right? So what are you waiting for? Call today. It's quick to change your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani sent you. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709. 850-200-0709. Stop overpaying today.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
Are you afraid of your kids? No way, Dani. No. Never. I'm not afraid of my kids. No way. Really? Are you afraid to tell them no? Are you afraid to guide them in financial wise places, which means no, we're not going to have a cell phone at 12 or 13 or 16? That you are afraid to tell them the truth of the traps of what cell phones bring, and that 98% of the population is dead or dead broke at the age of 65, and one of the greatest ways to succeed is find out what they're doing and do the exact opposite, and 98% of the population seems to make sure their teens have kids. You want me to give you the truth? 89% of all teens have cell phones. Wow. 89% of all kids have cell phones. We made the choice that our kids would not. We explained to them the marketing ploys about them. We also explained the traps about them, and they sold themselves that these are totally unnecessary. When they turned 18, they made the choice as to whether or not they would have one. I have a son who he's a musician, invested himself into an iPod, found a way to make phone calls and to text only while he was on the internet. This same son owns his own home that he bought at 15. He's now approaching 17 here in a couple of weeks. He's made a choice. As a landlord, he's made a choice that he wanted to make that purchase into a cell phone. Do I agree with it? Nope, not at all. Did his dad agree to it? Yes, he did. Some battles I just lose. That's just how it is. Some battles I lose. Even though the first 3 didn't have cell phones, well, I lost this one. We'll see how it goes. He obviously has been tested already with his iPod that he was able to use similar to an iPhone. But I will tell you that this same son has battled with pornography. And he is working through trying to be completely free from that. And where did the pornography come from? access through an iPod. So do I like technology for the pornography? I hate it with a passion. Technology brings some great things, but it also brings some great curses. So I just want you to know, you need to be fully aware when you make a decision with your kids. You need to be fully aware instead of being sucked into fear of your kids being mad at you, instead of being sucked into the fear of them not loving you anymore or them giving you pain. And by the way, you need to start thinking like somebody that has wisdom. That's what you want, is wisdom for you and for your children. This is Dani Johnson. Priscilla is on the line from Pullman, Washington. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thank you.
So what's your comment?
Your text on Facebook. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My comment is, I think that it depends on the child. And with my children, they're not that old yet. My oldest son is 8, so, I'm not speaking from experience, but I'm telling you what I'm personally going to do is when my children are 16, I want them to have jobs. I want them to make side money, and if they have the money to purchase a phone, I'm fine with them having a phone, but I don't want them to have internet access because, like you said, the pornography and stuff like that.
Yep.
But I think every child is different, and every parent's different. And anyway, that's my input and what I plan on doing.
Okay. So, Priscilla, I'm going to challenge you on that place. Because, again, your kid's 8 years old, so you haven't yet suffered through the effects of a cell phone. But let me ask you this question. When you were 16, did you have a phone when you learned to drive?
No, I got a phone when I was 17.
Okay. How old are you?
34.
So you're of the first generation. A phone as in a cell phone?
Yes, I had a cell phone when I was 17. Uh-huh.
Oh, my gosh. Do you know that makes me so much older than you? Okay, so hold on. So you feel like it's important to teach your son how to have a monthly recurring bill of $100 a month when he's 16 and he got his first job.
That. If he chooses to have a phone, yeah. Mm-hmm. And honestly, I want my children to have a phone. That way, if they are driving somewhere, they can call me and say, hey, I'm here, I'm okay. I want that connection with them.
Are you a single mom?
Then I plan on raising my kids. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Are you a single mom?
No, I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
No.
All right, so I was just wondering, because I see this trend with single moms, and they have this fear of not being in touch with their kids. So I was wondering if you were a single mom. Okay, because lots of moms have that fear, but there seems to be a growing trend of single moms who, buy their kids more than they need, and, and it's usually out of fear. Anyway, so this is the place I'm going to challenge you. Your 16-year-old, unless they've been equipped to make wise financial decisions, you're allowing them to make a lifelong decision of having a bill every single month and having to work to pay for something that's not an asset, but a liability, and that costs more money, because it doesn't start with just the little flip phone that has no internet, honey. You know what happens from there. It goes on to a smartphone, and then data plans, and then extra data, and then the apps that we're purchasing, and then the music that we're going to purchase to have on that smartphone. So we're talking thousands of dollars that people spend on cell phones before the 16-year-old has ever even learned about making an investment, like maybe buying their first house with the thousands of dollars instead of being sucked into the market. So those are just some food for thought. You can do whatever you want with that, but if you want to raise kids who are financially independent and understand money, they need to understand the real costs of a cell phone, because it is not just the monthly bill. It's the continued access to purchasing at your fingertips. It's the continued access to the next new cell phone, the next new bell and whistle, and let's not forget the watches that are coming out that we can make a phone call from. So that's a little bit of food for thought, Priscilla, and I respect your positioning with the 8-year-old who's not 16 yet, and that you were a 17-year-old with a cell phone. It really breaks my heart that kids at 16, 17, and 18 are starting their life with a $100 monthly bill. That just blows my mind. I mean, it really blows my mind. I can think of a lot of other places $100 a month can go that will help them to become financially secure and independent versus being tied to this dog collar that has an electrical charge to it that somehow controls our lives. Kind of crazy, don't you think? Anyway, this is the Dani Johnson Show. Thanks so much for joining us today. I know I might have ruffled your feathers, and I know that I probably said some things that you completely disagree with, and you know what? That's healthy. That's healthy, because if you and I agree on all things, there's something wrong with you or me, and it's probably me. We need to have discussions where either we pull out some passion of each other or we pull out some disagreement with each other, as long as it's done in honor. I think that's important, and that we're causing each other to think a little differently and see different perspectives, because the world does not revolve around me, and it doesn't revolve around you. Anyway, I would love to hear your comments on today's show. If you go to DaniJohnson.com, leave us a comment on today's post of today's show. Let us have your feedback there, as well as get a copy, your free copy if you're first time listening to the show, of First Steps to Wealth. You'll see it right on the right-hand corner of the website. It's a free book offer. It's about to be pulled, my friend, so you might want to get your free copy immediately. You can get it in an ebook form, or you can get the physical copy. If you pay the shipping to your house, you can get the physical copy of this book. So again, that's DaniJohnson.com. I'll talk to you tomorrow with an awesome topic that'll make you, I don't know, change you, or make some changes in your life. God bless you. Have a great one.
You've been listening to The Dani Johnson Show. It's our belief that you can live a better, healthier, happier life. All you need is a little encouragement, a different perspective, a positive force in your life. Get that and more on the next Dani Johnson Show.
Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today. You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.